Are deck droppers, base model, any good? Yeah, this is going to be a controversial section again, and that's fine. Why? Because deck droppers are weird. They're weird in concept, they're weird in art, and weird in execution. And because in a game where people worship at the altar of ranged DPS, hardly without justification, the deck droppers willingly give up a lot of that. What do they gain? Speed, in a faction where almost all of its ranged is slow as molasses. Cold molasses. So let's drop right in. Please like, subscribe, comment, and consider donating treasure to my hidden Ko-Fi Cove. It has plenty of space left. The basic deck dropper unit is recruited for 450 gold, so 113 upkeep base in a faction that has many ways to drive upkeep down. For this, you get 24 entities, fell bats carrying zombies, with 4,416 health between them, meaning that each entity has 184 hit points. This is important to keep in mind. It is a miserable total HP count, but the entities themselves are a lot more robust than basic bats. Armor is 15, because of the zombies. Leadership is 40, slightly better than regular zombies. Speed is a very nice AT, and it's shown here that charge speed is 52, so charging is actually slower, but I guess that's to not go splat when hitting the ground. Melee attack is 26 base, with an attack interval of 4.3, and melee defense 22, so entity for entity, they're a lot better at brawling than the regular units. It's just that there are so few of them that they'll just drown in a sea of infantry if it's just 1v1. Weapon strength is 26, with base damage of 20 and armor piercing of 6, which really isn't all that high, but it could be worse. And remember, the attack value is a good bit better than usual. Charge bonus is 16, not great, and mass is 400, interestingly enough. There is no splash damage. For ranged, ammunition begins a bit less than usual, 20 volleys. Range is 80, so less than usual, but you'll see in-game that they have an unusually wide firing arc. Missile damage is listed as 33, with base missile damage 24 and armor piercing of 6, which is twice the regular base damage and 3 times the armor piercing as the normal entity. So this is not like the Rotting Promethean gunnery mob, you're getting big fat pistols compared to the usual ones. Furthermore, the reload time is 9, so they'll tend to go through this ammunition significantly faster. That's great for an initiator skirmish unit. Total accuracy is the standard 20, calibration distance is the pistol 65, and calibration area is significantly worse at 3.2, so it's not the most accurate by default. Extra powder and fire whilst moving do apply, except that they're more important here since the power of each shot is significantly greater to begin with, AP included, and with 80 speed you can get a lot of use out of firing on the move. In the Lord Redline skills, Haunting Horror provides a maximum of plus 8% missile strength, and shockingly, that's it. All the other goodies are shared among different units. For rank 7 Hardened Pirate Scum, you're actually gaining from Masterly Splicing, providing plus 8 leadership, plus 10% speed, and plus 5 melee defense. That's all useful, but you definitely love having the plus 10% speed that already jacks you up to 88 speed for basic flight. The tech tree gets a little funky. Silver Musket Balls and Cutlasses provides a plus 3 bonus versus infantry not just to all the usual deckhand and gunnery mobs, but to deck droppers, and unlike most of those other units, the deck droppers already start to look shockingly decent once you apply a little help like that. The others just kind of suck less. Black Powder Oxides adds plus 5% missile strength to deck droppers, and there's nothing wrong with that, giving extra powder a higher base number to boost. Stolen Imperial Ordnance adds plus 20% missile armor piercing, and deck droppers just might be able to make use of that, whereas it wouldn't cut it for the gunnery mob version. Percussion Caps adds plus 15% to ammo capacity, straight up, expanding the longevity of a skirmish unit that can pick and choose where to be on the battlefield. Steadier Aim adds plus 10% range to deck droppers, in addition to all the gunnery mob units. Protective Hide adds 20% missile resistance to deck droppers, along with some other units, and boy do they need this. It really helps them a lot since of course they'll be shot at. So how do you use deck droppers? Well, that's the thing. You kind of use them everywhere, but you have to use care and diligence in order to get anything out of them. Essentially, you need to deeply internalize something. They are opportunists, and they are support. They will not, on their own, destroy entire armies with their firepower. It's just not going to happen, not least of which because they'll run out of ammo. They are what you'd call a supporting arm, not a decisive arm of battle. It's not like with gunnery mobs with handguns where 6 of them properly supported and not destroyed by magic will annihilate key units and completely turn a battle on its head. On the other hand, these mobs are practically rooted in place, and the deck droppers can fly. So using deck droppers, despite their relatively budget costs, means you are willingly giving up power in order to gain flexibility. So long as you have enough power to get the job done in the end, this is fine. You don't always need to have everything. Also, deck droppers are able to fly over walls and elevations, and sometimes that really matters. Being opportunists, jackals, if you will. I dare not say hyenas. They can park above an engaged battle line if they are not being shot, and shoot unchallenged into unshielded bats. They can melee dive light missile units and in a lot of cases, albeit not all, tear them to pieces. They can do the same to artillery, and they will still do pot shots on the way in. Movement is not wasted with this unit. Now, besides that, they're fast enough to go hunt and harass cavalry, and shoot in the backs of heavy cavalry on the way to impaling themselves upon your polearm units. Assuming you have them. If they don't have the tools to defeat the current target, they can deplete, they can put in a half-decent showing, but they won't win. You'll be sacrificing them, but again, they're not that expensive to begin with. If you are able to overcome, then it may not be the fastest, it may be over time, but you will nonetheless whittle the opposition down and dive to partake of the melee fight at the proper moment. Beyond this, if I can say they have real value, it's that they will shoot without obstructing fellow units, except badly placed mortars, unless it's extremely specific like a mid-air brawl, and they can both initiate battle and run from battle fairly well. You don't have to start every fight in artillery range anymore. You can also try and dodge missile fire with them, though that's not quite as clean as with a single entity hero. The best synergies deck droppers have are with your best units. Their shots will do very little damage to rotting Prometheans or rotting Leviathans, and even a Deathstreak Terrorgeist can create juicy blobs for you. Moreover, the Deathstreak can act as a goon squad leader for them in general. Morn ghouls are at least resistant to stray shots. Firing into a melee will make your enemy's morale drop, so that's always good. In the end, you use them where you can, and if you lose them, it's no big deal in the bigger picture. I encourage you to try new things, just make sure that you have other fundamentals decently covered. Have enough raw power to win a battle, and then use deck droppers to try to make those wins more efficient. Also, settlements are tougher nuts to crack now, so flying over walls has meaning too. Take care, and have fun dropping your opponents into the sea. Well, that's not in-game, but just picture it.